Yeah, I think GitHub is pretty much the standard, but there's a lot of other options. Today's goal is to fix some bugs. Now we are in beta and there's been some bugs that people have reported, so I'm gonna try fix that, and if I have time I'm gonna work on some existing work in progress features. So let's see. So here I have a mock-up of a new strategy creation wizard, and one of the issues, or not specifically an issue, but some feedback that I got from the user is, especially for maybe more new users, it's pretty difficult to actually create a strategy. So if you in Raven want to create a strategy, it's the UI is very similar to N8N, and you would have to connect all these nodes and understand how these nodes kind of work together. So just to create some kind of a simple strategy, you have to connect a lot of different nodes, and you basically have to do programming, but visually. And this has kind of been the whole idea behind Raven. But for some users that's maybe not comfortable with something like this, it can be a little bit difficult. And so for this, I have been thinking about a new, I don't want to change all of this. This is gonna be how Raven is, but I'm working on a wizard. So a step-by-step sort of strategy builder. Behind the scenes, we still have all this, but this is just a mock-up, this one here, where they go through 5 different steps that basically helps them create a strategy. So this is something I'm going to be working on. I'm not sure if I'm going to have time to do it today. I need to fix some a little bit more pressing issues and bugs. But the idea behind it is that you go through 5 different steps where it's going to ask you the most sort of relevant questions. For example, which venue do you want to trade on? So here we have Polymarket, and there's other venues as well. This one is basically the first node here. And then you're gonna go to the next step, which is the market scope. Here you have different options. So for example, do you want to trade a single market, or do you want to trade a recurring series, or do you want to find it from an event? These are the 3 different options we currently have. There will be more options later, but this is basically this node here. Here you have to select different market. And so today you are presented with all these different fields and select options and stuff like that. This is for an advanced user, but this one is going to make it a little bit more easy. And then you have the market and outcome. So let's see. Yeah, here you select the specific markets, and this is also somewhat of a challenge today to actually find the markets. So the idea is maybe you just paste the URL from Polymarkets, and then it's gonna output different options. So this is definitely something that need to work on a little bit more. And outcome selection depends. Actually, I haven't seen this one before. This is a mock-up that Codex did. So Let's see. Oh, so does it actually update here? Yeah. So that's actually pretty cool. So there's a live mockup over in the right side that shows the dynamic updates. That's pretty cool. So let's go back to the market. So you paste the URL and then you can select different options here. So that's kind of the trading context, right? And then outcome selection depends on the market. Yeah, okay. And then entry. So the entry is a very advanced sort of section of Raven where you basically create a strategy. So what the idea here is simply just present the user with some more standard features or standard strategies. For example, a crossover strategy, a mean reversion strategy, market making, or a custom starter. Then they fill in some common inputs like position size or the price offset, fast EMA. Yeah, that's relevant to a crossover, right? So what periods do you want to use for the EMAs? So this is kind of, yeah. And then mean reversion. I think price offset is probably not relevant. Market making, custom starter. Yeah. And then what we have, and then we have, so this is for the buys, and then we have exit. When should the position close? Exit on reverse signal. Close the trade when the thesis flips or the entry condition reverses. Exit on target condition. Fine tune later on canvas. Okay, close. Close once a separate condition is reached, like price mean reverting or touching a target. Close the trade when the thesis flips or the entry condition reverses. Okay. So yeah, we present the user with some options to exit the position when it has entered. Protection rules, so they can put the stop loss. They can put a take profit, max hold time. Option here to, if the entry order fills. Yeah, this part here is actually the life cycle hook. So in Raven, we have, for example, the buy action. The buy action here is basically the step 4 here, right? That's the step 4. Then we also have a life cycle hook. The life cycle hook is basically do something after the action does something. So for example, we can do something if the order is filled, if it's partially filled, cancelled, rejected, failed, timeout. Yeah, so that's different, and that's basically what we have. Let's see in the exit here, down here. Yeah, so if the entry order fills, no extra action, place a follow-up hedge order. Sometimes you might want to put a hedge order, configure on canvas, so that's no action later. And then after the trade closes, so this is also a little bit difficult today. When the trade closes, what do you want to do in the strategy? And this is something that it can help with. Yeah, exactly. So this basically just simplifies creating the strategies here. So what happens is, that's at least the idea. And now this is only a mock-up, so I can actually not show how it's going to work. But then you can click generate mock strategy, and then you're going to be redirected to this canvas. So it's going to automatically populate all the different nodes, and then you can actually fine-tune everything to your liking. That's at least the idea behind it, just to hold people a little bit more in hand when they're creating their strategies. So actually, I think this is a good first draft. So this is the very first mock-up that Codex did, and I think actually it looks pretty okay. And there's some things that I need to tweak and tune here. So I think I'm gonna do that a little bit later. Yeah, so that's at least the idea behind this. And yeah. And then there's a node structure here. Yeah, that's cool. Okay. All right, so I just deployed on the dev side a pull request. Let me see. Yeah, that's 10 minutes ago. That should be okay. So I'm just gonna test, see that everything still works smoothly. We still have some issues. Two major issues that I'm working on, or maybe three, is the long-running bot. So I have a long-running bot. Sometimes it actually stops, but it still remains running. And then when you go to the live monitor, there's some issues. I'm gonna see what happens now. Okay, this one actually is okay. So a long-running bot, but it still says running, which is okay. And now it has stale, so that's good. So that's actually one of the new fixes. Let me see what happens if I load from S3. That did not work. Let's see. Select. Okay, let me refresh, see what happened here. Archive monitor data is available, and if I click load from S3, archive monitor data. Yeah, and then it just shows me a different. Why does it just show me a different message? Let me see. Take some screenshots here of this and pass it to. Gonna pass it to Claude. So here I would expect it to be loaded from S3. Maybe it's not available from S3, then we have to figure that out. Actually, I want to do the whole bot here. Okay. I have a bot that is set to currently run. It's running, but the state is stale. The first screenshot is showing that I can load the data from S3. When I click the S3 button, it shows another yellow bar and actually no data is being shown. Right. It says the running session appears to be stalled, but I would expect in this case that the S3 data is being loaded. We also need to figure out a way to fix the stalled bots. Maybe we need to automatically stop the bots in case they get stalled. Near resolution strategies, you mean like bonding, or what? Like where you buy something that's almost certain? Is that what you mean? This one is also stale. Yeah, same. Let me try stop it and see what happens then. DCD. Yeah, I mean that what you're describing, I think, is close to the like the bonding strategy, or maybe not. Like the bonding strategy, you basically buy something where you can make maybe a 0.5% where the market is already like actually resolved, but you can still buy. And then if you buy it around 90, it's probably not resolved yet. So that's hard to say, right? It really depends on the strategy, because I've seen, for example, the Bitcoin markets up and down. It's very often that the market actually switches just a few seconds before. And maybe those markets is a bad example because they are also maybe a little bit manipulated. But if you look at the price action of especially up and down markets, like a minute before or 30 seconds before, it just switches, you know, completely from one side to the other. So that could wipe you out. So it's hard to say. It depends on the strategy, right? And I also have a case, if I actually stop this bot, the status remains running. I want to check here if now I have some running. Let me see this one. Okay, this one is still running. That's cool. Just delete. I have so much here. I just need to delete some of this. Awaiting tick. So this one is, yeah. So there's a case where it's probably stalled the WebSocket. Yes, I mean, I have thought about adding like some kind of a communication channel. Like you still deploy and run your bots, like create your bots from the web interface, but then maybe you can connect with Telegram to monitor your bots, or maybe stop and start your bots, or check the status, like a limited interface but available from Telegram. But actually building the strategies will still be from the interface, unless we can get the this wizard here working well. This wizard might work from Telegram, but I'm doubtful. I think the first scope will be just a way to monitor your own bots from Telegram. Just get a, you know, a status on your bots, stuff like that. Okay, I need to test. One thing I also want to test today is that the PNL is calculated correctly, because this is an issue we had before. So I think I'm gonna do it with this strategy here, because it does have maybe I want to do it on the 5 minutes, so just so we get some more data in. 5-minute test by upside, maybe this one here. Let me see. This one has been running for 24 hours. Actually, I should be able to test this one here. So this, yeah, okay, I think this actually 82. Let's see. So that is the buy upside strategy, and there's, is it this one here? Complete, no. I mean, I have so much here that this one here, I need to clean it up. Is it? Or is it though? 82. I need a better way of identifying the bots, because you can run multiple bots in the same strategy. So now it's difficult for me to see. Like I have 4 running, but you probably won't have that. The only reason I have 4 running now is because I'm testing. So this one is 7cc. If I can see, can I see that from here? No, I cannot. Position 82, and here we have 160. That should be, yeah, this should be this one here. PNL 4.3. It's not. Okay, I think I wanna double check this with Claude. Please help me validate that the PNL for sessions is calculated correctly. First, check the current database schema. And after that, please provide me step-by-step instructions with queries I can pass to the database to check that the PNL is correct. We should calculate the PNL based off of all the closed trades. I'm gonna provide screenshots with a bot session that I wanna test. So I think we're gonna do this one here, because this one has been running for 24 hours, so that should have somewhat of some fresh code. Budget. Is this one still running? Yeah, this one's still running. Okay. Seasonal. It is this one here then. Yeah, so minus 1698. Oh. I think that matches what it says in here as well. 98. Yep. And then down here, 1698. Should be okay. Equity curve is also correct. I mean, it looks correct. Yeah, because currently the way this one here works is it's based off of a snapshot that it takes once in a while. And this is what we had issues with. So the trades here, if I go back to the trades registered here in the closed position is stored correctly, as well as down here. So all of this is stored correctly. And so that means we can recompute these P&Ls correctly. So that's what we had an issue before. So some people on the leaderboard still has too high of a balance. So that's something that I'm also working on. I did already pass a fix, but it did not work completely. So I need to fix that as well. Work more on that. Let's see what we have here. Find the button session ID. Okay. I think I'll just wait with that one for a bit because it does look correct. Let me see what we have here. For auto stopping stalled bots, what should be the stall threshold be? The bot has a last heartbeat at fields. If the heartbeat is older than X minutes while the continuous live, should we auto stop? Can we add a auto restart mechanism? Or maybe, let me see, auto, can I auto restart? Or should we let the current restart background task handle it? When a stall bot is detected, should it be stopped with status error or just stopped? Yeah, error. Okay. All right. I want to check to see if some of these long-running sessions are working. There was some issues still. This is what we're working on. Let's see this one here. Okay, this one is still... Yep, this one is still working. Yeah, okay. This has been running live now for... Not live, but... Since 6th of April. Let me check here. So that's the close pin. Yeah, I don't really want to trust. I think I need to stop all these bots and start from new because a lot of these bots are using the old code. Yeah, let me clean up a little bit. All bots contain alive, but no heartbeat. Should be also restart or let the existing restart mechanism handle it. Yeah, well, that's... Install detected kill container mark error with stop reinstall, then immediately attempt restart using the existing auto restore mechanism. What stall thresholds you use before triggering the stop restart? 15 minutes. When I started this bot, it returned an error, so it did not start actually. Try again here. When I go to the strategy canvas and validate the strategy, it returns successful. Oh, okay, now it actually seems to be running for some reason. Okay. Okay, so that was unrelated. Server restart. The second time I start the bot, it was successful. So it does work now. But let's see if we should address the warnings. Is that something we should check? Oh, why doesn't it say something? Okay. Okay, I'll just delete this and then let it check the 2 warnings. Yes, please go ahead and check the 2 warnings, see if that's something we should fix. When I go into the strategy canvas and validate the strategy, it does return successful without any errors. What's that running but stalled, no heartbeat for fascination? Actually, I had another one here. What strategy is this here? Okay. Okay. What about this? So if I resave the strategy, should it then clear it? Because the strategy is old and most likely we've changed things. Okay, let me try that. I saved the strategy and now it looks like this. Okay, let's double check that that's actually true. Okay, good. When I stop a bot more often than not, I get the timeout error. The bot is stopped, but it's just in the front end we get the timeout error. Maybe we can make it optimistic. So instead of actually waiting for the response, we just say that it stopped, and then, you know, because the task has been sent already. Okay. There's a few PRs I want to work on. I just wonder if I should merge into master now, because there's some fixes that I actually want to test on the production. See how many we have. There's 4 commits. It's not that many, but let me see what it is. There's the event queue is fixed. That should fix bots just stopping. Fix stall pull bots. I feel like there was something else too. Fix issues with stall bots. Maybe let me pass this to Codex maybe. Can I do a new work tree? Check master. This pull request is a pull request to master. I want to validate or check that there is one specific issue fixed, and that is when we run the repair PNL function, that we correctly stops the bots first and then starts them after, because there was an issue with the repair function not working in case where the session is running and active. That's why we have to stop it. But there was some kind of a race condition, if I remember correctly. What? Nope, not that one. That's really annoying. This one, yeah. Wonder if we could find it though. The specific issue we experienced was that the last balance of a user having several sessions would not update simply because the bot was still running. Is there anything we should address for that, or do you think maybe this 30 seconds wait is enough, or should we increase that? Hey man. Yeah, it's Raven is a tool I'm building. It's a no-code trading bot builder for prediction markets. That's the best I can explain it. So you can build trading bots without using code. Can just show quickly how that looks like this. You know, you just drag and drop these different nodes and you can define as a strategy and then deploy a bot. So it's basically like N8N, but for trading bots. The repair chain should also include the running sessions. I think that's why we chose to stop the bots first, because then it would be included in the chain. And then after repair, those bots that were stopped is started again. I mean, it's not a bot for high frequency trading, if that's what you mean. I mean, it's pretty fast, right? But you're always gonna have that issue, even if you build it yourself, that you have a firm that have a high frequency trading bot. So I would not suggest to use it for that, but for other strategies. I mean, it's pretty fast. It is. A lot of the latency comes from the server locations and Polymarket's APIs and stuff like that. Not the bot internally. Like the bot handling events and processing signals and executing actions is very fast, like a very few milliseconds when I tested it. But then actually pinging the servers at Polymarket and waiting for a response, all of that is actually what is probably 99% of the wait time. But the firms is gonna have the same issue unless they have some kind of a benefit we don't know about. So if it fails, what are we gonna do with the bots that actually stopped? We might stop several bots and then we have one bot that did not stop. Are we gonna restart those bots then, or we should be able to stop, just force stop a bot? That shouldn't be an issue. So how do we fix this correctly? Yeah, I think a big benefit of the trading bots is the ability to earn the fees, right? Because if you are maker, you can earn fees. So you have sort of two ways to go about it to find an edge, that only that's an actual trading strategy, or earn something like fees, like as a market maker on something like that. And I think there's always going to be opportunity for that. But the thing with Raven here is it's gonna make it easy to test out strategies very fast. Like if you have a new idea, you can build it very quickly, deploy it in simulation and see how it works, and then you can deploy it in live trading. Um, no, not exactly. You don't need a lot. It really depends on the markets and Polymarket. On some markets on Polymarket, they require maybe 1,000 shares, but there's other markets where they don't require that many shares. But there's also other markets where there's no minimum of shares, but you still make a cut of the fees. So for example, there's a lot of markets where there's a rebate program. So if you place market making orders and it's gonna get taken, you get a cut of those fees that the taker would pay. And I think now it's 30%. And there's no minimum requirement of how many shares you place. But for the rewards that they have, often there's a requirement. So there's many different incentives. Yeah, I have been testing it out with real money, and I want to continue doing that soon. It actually went pretty okay. The main difference between live and simulation, from my experience here with Raven, and I think that goes with all different trading bots, is when an order is getting filled. So, for example, when you simulate in Raven, you're gonna experience that the fills comes almost instantly. But in real trading, there's a delay, because you send the trade over to Polymarket, and then from that time till it's actually been filled, there can be like several seconds, and then it's gonna get returned back to Raven. But that's how it is all the time, so it's not really something that you can do so much about. So that's the main difference actually. But everything worked that I tested, like the stop losses and take profit mechanisms in Raven, that worked well. There was some issues, but I fixed that already. But I need to test it more. Yeah. 14. I mean, there's so many use cases with it. You can do basically any strategy, including arbitrage. We already have a lot of people using it now, only in simulation though, and quite different all the strategies. You know, you can do some mean reversion strategies and, you know, crossover strategies and stuff like that. The signups right now is open. I'm going to close it soon, so you can go to Raven. There's a button in the top of the navigation, and then from there you can actually sign up. Well, if you already signed up, then you should have access. Did think for the weather node, I'm more or less ready to put that into development, I think. Still not convinced though about the Meteo APIs. Seems like the data is quite stale. Forecast date 8 hours. I'm not sure. I want to get this to development so I can test it out on a strategy and run it for a while. But before I do that, actually, let me just make one quick, just run one quick strategy here on one of the markets. Let's see, Paris. Gonna import a few here. So which one is the highest? That's going to be 14 and 15. Let's just do those. Just do 15. Yeah, okay. Great. And we're gonna do the best bit. Let's just do a best bit like this. And that's under 15. We do yes. We have the weather. Oh, actually, I want to change this one here. Wait a minute. The weather signal node has 2 input edges. I believe we only need 1. Why do we have 2? Okay, and then let's just do a comparison. And this is 15, so we're gonna do between 14 and 15. And let's test the signal. It is 47%. 15, what does it say here? 33. Oh, that's very old, this signal here. $22. That says 22. Let's just do it like this. And then I want to do max. That's fine. I just want to test that it actually also works correctly in trading. Yes. I think all that should be okay. Okay, let's deploy it. Line into the signal data. Okay, let's see. By 35. And we got the trigger true here. So we can see 0.32 less than 0.47. So that's fine. Okay, that looks fine. Okay. All right, I think this is fine. Ready to merge into development. Okay. Yeah, that branch did have some fixes for the leaderboards. But we have this one here working on that as well, so we'll just rebase that and have it check it through. It's fine. This one is for master. Okay. This one here, I haven't tested this one here. I did it for a while. Git pull. Oh, that was a big. Yep. Yeah, I will be back. I'm just gonna make a coffee. Right, we are back with a coffee and some breakfast. Please review the new feature with the history notes and yeah, just review it. So this feature that I'm working on here is a history signal node, so we can so we can create strategies based on like past state or history. For example, if you want to compare a current candlestick with one, 2 periods ago, then this is what we're gonna use for that. At least that's the idea. Because this is currently not possible in Raven. And I need to remember when you're done with this, please also compare it. Let me just think. Let me wait. No, fuck it. All right, we'll just push this one and then we'll compare it after. Review history signal feature. What it does, add a generic history signal that returns a past value from any connected scalar signal. Two lookup modes: time finds the nearest sample at or before now minus offset with a staleness tolerance. Okay. Samples return the value in emissions ago. Okay. Okay. Let's just test it out and Yeah, sorry, I didn't say anything. I was just reading. Will this prompt work? Make me money, no mistakes. All for weather. There's an X handle called Weather Edge Fund, and I think you may be able to get some alpha them. The make no mistakes always works. Yeah, 100%. Weather Edge Funder. Weather Edge Finder. Is that what you mean? Oh. Okay. Okay, good. And then, so for this PR, can you check if we have appropriate tests for this history node signal? Are we still having this issue here? Also, Codex is really bad at Git, like compared to Claude. It really messes it up all the time. Maybe it's because I use the work trees. What covered? Gaps with filling signal history. Unit test. All right. Validation. Which specific tests do you recommend to add for this feature? Okay, let's see if it fixed this properly or if it just fucked it up. Let's see. From signal history. No, that's not. Okay. And then I wanted to compare this with a specific, this one here. Can you please compare your changes with the following commit that has already been committed into development that try to fix, I think, more or less the same issue? Yep. Fully market unveils full exchange upgrade. Yes. CPT state, bell escalates. War bets, Calgy handle Fox. Okay. Poly market RNCs for insider trading scandal. Calgy dominates US share. Poly market major platform upgrade. AI cloud arbitrage bots are viral. Oh, what? It's talking about. Yeah, thanks, man. Yeah, it's you know, it's a grind for sure. It is, and but it's fun. People like to have actually people following along and watching the videos, and also have people actually trying out Raven. Kind of makes things easier. Like if I just did this by myself alone, it would be pretty difficult. I think I would have stopped already. Like in the past, I did do other SaaS softwares, but I did not build it in public. I just did it by myself, kind of stealth. But then you just get, you know, I stopped after like 30 days at that time. Now I've been doing this for, you know, 3-4 months almost. The overlap, they're not the same fix. Fixes later stage prompt after repair runs. It snapshots the correct season balance, restores it just before. That is the gap this branch fills. So the short version helps protect the repair balance from being overridden after repair, but it does not solve one meaningful behavior. The one meaningful behavior changes to be aware of is this: when restart running pods through this branch repairs only the season ID user ID pairs tied to bots that actually became repair ready. If you want the button to repair every pair. Well, we have a leaderboard running now. I want to fix all the traders on the leaderboards, so all the balances for this season is correct. Would this current implementation fix this, or do we need to change more? If I have two different signal nodes, say the candlestick open and the candlestick close, and I connect the history node with each of them, can I compare one history node with the other? I want to make sure that if I put a what is it called? Samples back to say one sample on each of the history node, that when I compare the two signals, I mean the two history nodes, that they are from the same time period, so to say. Basically, for the history nodes, the two different history nodes I want to compare has to be the candles that was emitted at the same time, if that makes any sense. I mean, it should come from the same candle. You can push back if you don't understand what this question is about. You can try to make me elaborate so you get the correct understanding of what I'm asking you. What I'm asking you. Okay. Force repair flow in our pet full season leaderboard where it is safe to do so. And I just want to make sure that we have appropriate test coverage for these features here. Okay. Let me just save this test history. That is fine. Let me find the 5-minute. Yes, okay, so comparing history, one candlestick back. I think I want low and Good signals in top for scenario. Candlestick open, process the trade event, update value, history recorded. Critical is to open and high always have the same number of samples in history because with the current config, comparing two history with offset ones guaranteed to compare values from the same complete candle. Okay, that's great. And another question, how could we define a reversion strategy using candles, comparing the current candle with the candle one sample before? Key design points. Okay, let's see if this strategy actually works. Okay. Code. Yeah, the code node I think is broken. A bit off topic, but I think the code node is broken. Let me just go ahead and add a code node seed. Yeah, so this is just loading. That's what I saw before. Nope, not copy text, copy image. When I add a new code node, the two input fields just says loading. Okay. Close. So here it does close and close now. Samples back. Okay. Yes. Then dynamic market node. Oh yeah, I was working on this one. I haven't implemented the plan yet. Implement a builder only lock template feature that leaves select a working same market subgraph. Collapse into one reusable. Yes, yes. Compile into ordinary strategy. JSON saved. Use the existing runtime change. Key cheat. Add new template authoring flow in the builder. User selects a self-contained subgraph and lock as template. With this plan, do we agree that the subgraph or node subgraph is just a sort of a subcomponent to the whole strategy? Like basically take a subset of the strategy and make that as a template, if that makes sense, instead of the whole strategy being the template. I just want to make sure that we are aligned on that. Okay, it removed Monaco. Oh, okay. Okay. All right, let's copy paste that one in again. Okay, why don't I see the code then? The code node that you generated looks like this. There is no input fields at all. But if I add it from here, yeah, we have here. And then the value mappings also looks crazy. Variable mappings. The variable mappings in the code node is also messed up. We need to improve that. Thresholds, Vx. The default variable mappings doesn't conform with what's actually in the inputs. Oh, actually it does. So value expression x minus v. Okay, yeah, that's fine. Messed up and should be improved. Okay. Yes, we aligned the template is a subgraph, not the whole strategy. The mental model is a strategy stays a top level thing. Inside that strategy, you can create one self-contained subset of nodes and lock any. Yes, that component is then applied across a bucket of markets. On save deploy, only that component gets expanded into per market concrete nodes. The rest of the strategy stays as normal. For your weather example, a locked component would be something like market select, weather select price. The only important V1 caveat is that this subgraph should be self-contained. So it behaves like a component inside the bigger strategy. not an arbitrary slice with lots of wires crossing in and out. If you want, I can. I just want to make sure that this subgraph here is dynamic in the context of the specific markets that we are trading on. So what we're trying to solve here is, instead of hard coding specific markets, we want basically the market selector to become dynamic so we can trade many markets, and then this subgraph should be able to map to these fields and automatically dynamically populate. Yeah, I don't know if that makes sense, but let's see. Please investigate these logs. In the header next to access Raven button, we need to add an invite link to Discord. Trade queue overflow root cause, WebSocket death, consequent the event starvation cause, keep live pings to timeout. Other symptoms to market timeout due to event loop starvation. I think this has been solved already then. We already increased the queue for the events. Is there other fixes that we should make? Only the pre-existing strategy remains. Just what a fix could remove the signal type dropdown. Okay. Let's see if this is fixed. Okay. Okay, let's copy paste this strategy again just to see if this one works or not. Okay, paste. Okay, code. I mean, it's probably because it's the AI that. Let me add. Okay. Oh. I think the code node from the strategy that you generated before is not correct. Can you try and fix the following code node so it conforms with the strategy? Try fix the full strategy. Okay. See if it can do that. All right. When should the dynamic market bucket be resolved for a locked subgraph? At bot launch, resolve the current matching markets bind fields automatically and subscribe to all of them. Change the set later requires report. Yeah, well, I mean, ideally we have a mechanism to do it while the bot, like a rebind. Because we want these bots to run many days and weeks. Okay, so I think that we deployed something to development. I need to check. Okay, let me test it. When the market stop matching the live bucket that rotates out, how should the template needs to behave? Stop new entries. Keep managing exit or position. I'm not really sure him. Well, of course. Alright, I'll deploy this to master now and then I'll test it, see if it fixes the leaderboard. That's how I'm gonna do it. See this one here. Should also fix a stall bot. Commits. Alright, what commits do we have here? Event queue, stall bots. Okay, we have the weather as well. Yeah, I mean, okay. Should be okay. Put input edge. Okay, I'll just push this. That's fine. The weather, yeah. Yeah. Okay. Yeah, I'll do that. I'll merge this in. Okay, deploying a fix now to master branch. This should hopefully fix some of the leaderboards, or at least it's a cleanup function. Should also fix some of the bots stalling because of the event queue. And it also adds the weather nodes, but I haven't really tested it out properly, so it's yeah. It is what it is. Why are they? Why do they move together? god. It's a bit messed up here. Okay. Doesn't seem like the worker got the job for some reason. Maybe it's just gonna take a while. Okay, we still have 2 users. I think we need to fix the P&L for the season. Can you start by checking the database schema and then after that provide me with queries I can run on a database to check the balance for a given user for the most recent season? Okay. How do I find the user ID given the user's username? Ah, okay. With the latest clarification into the behaviors, the locked subgraph is a reusable component inside the larger strategy. Yes, its market selector is dynamic. Okay, so we agree that the market buckets, we can update those dynamically while the bot is running live. I need a query where I can see how the balance has been incrementing for a given season. Because when you start a new bot, it will get the balance from the previous bot. I want to see how that has been incrementing to check that the balance is correctly carried over. Use ID, where's the use ID? Ah, okay, that makes sense. I didn't get it all. Oh, it's no, it's not. No. No, this user is part of the season. They are on the leaderboard. The user with rank 1. Yep. Here for season ID 2, I want to see how he came to that balance, how the balance has been carried over from bot to bot. All right, so what is the final plan? I feel like Claude got dumber and dumber. This was no problem yesterday. Yeah, none of these queries works. I need just one query that will show me how the balance is getting carried over in a season for this user. Okay. Okay, this is the... we're still on history node. Let me just see if I can... see if this strategy here works for the history node. Where am I now? Is this one here? Now I have too much open. Yeah, localhost. Okay, it doesn't work. Okay. Maybe that's the reason I didn't get the last. Oh my god, okay. Let me do open. Open. Try this image, but keep in mind this is for, seems like for be, this seems to be for all the sessions. We are only interested in the session for the current season 2. Okay. Okay, so there's an error here for sure. Do we have any logs? Okay. Could be just local. No, that's not the bug. So that's why I'm saying we only need to look at the season leaderboard sessions, because if it's not within a leaderboard, then they will get a fresh balance every time. That's how it is now. But for the leaderboard, the balance will carry over. That's why we need to look at the season. Okay. And now we have codex. Yeah, I feel like Claude has been dumbed down a bit past few days. I don't know, like these things that I'm working on right now, the Claude wasn't really an issue just one day ago. Having these, having it create these SQL queries here, it really struggles with it right now. See, it's let's try to have Codex run, have it run at it. I don't want you to change any code. I only want you to help me create queries I can manually run in the database. So first you should look up the database schema. I have the following query which does not work, but maybe this will point you in the direction. What I'm trying to achieve here is finding for a specific user how his balance has been carried over from bot to bot for a given season. For normal bots and normal sessions, the balance will not be carried over. But for a season used for the leaderboards, it will be carried over. But the balance for some users has not been carried over correctly. So I would like to check how it has been carried over from bot to bot within season number. No, sorry, season ID 2. Okay. Here we go. Jesus. Oof. Use this first shows for every session in a season for one user. What balance the session launches with and what the previous session ends with and the gap. Okay. Let's go. With params, select use ID. Yeah. Should balance select. No, that doesn't work. The first query returns completely empty. Let's try this one here. Second query also returns empty. Third query is not empty, have some data. Fix query 1 and 2. Wait a minute. I'm not sure what you're doing now, but we should not add the weather source node. We have only one weather signal node. Yeah, it's like, I don't know, Claude is completely broken right now. Yes, initially we made the weather node 3 different nodes, but then it was merged into a single signal node. So it sounds like these tests are outdated. I'm not sure why they are breaking now, because the weather signal node has already been merged into development and into master without any tests breaking. So I'm not sure exactly what went wrong here and why it's starting to break now. Okay. Maybe I think this one here. No, that's not it. and you make a query to get the current seasonal balance for a single user given their username. Yeah, I mean, and now I hit my usage limit. It's crazy. And then you hit your usage limit so fast now, and oh yeah, we have a pro version now. It's unbelievable. How do we even see rate limits? Weekly. Okay, so that's a 5 hour. Weekly is 55%. April 17 we have 11. Yeah, okay. I see. I mean, it's pro. Yeah, I kind of have to upgrade that soon, I think. Okay, let me just test this one. I think this is going to be the last thing and I'm going to take a break. Wait a minute. Yeah. Okay, why?